We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock in a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
Welcome to Tunnel Talk, a no facts, all feelings wrestling podcast on the Social Suplex Network. I'm Allie.
I'm Ann.
And I'm Leah.
How you doing this week, girls?
Great.
Chitchat time.
I'm celebrity, and that feels pretty fucking good. Happy summer's over. Mm-hmm. Misery business fall is here. No one can mention the weather, so there's nothing for us to chit-chat about, really.
The agreement was that if we stopped talking about the weather, then Anne was in charge of chit-chat time, so...
Do you think, Leah, do you think that in beginning now, and then for the rest of 2025 and then forever, you could be a bit more of a team player?
And haven't you appreciated how I have been in charge of Chitchat Time for the past month?
I have really enjoyed it. I have actually really enjoyed it. Allie, good. I did think you were about to say, do you think for the rest of 2025 you could be a bit less of a bitch? And I was like, maybe.
I like that you were you were fully prepared for that one and would have been able to no-sell it. But it was just more of a team player is what made you be like, oh, shit. How could she say that to me?
Your performance review is not looking good.
No.
Well, let's not worry about Chit-Chat Time, and let's just get a little business out of the way. And we do have a very fun topic. Leah guested on a wonderful fellow podcast by our friend Tim. She was on Joshing Around. Leah, take it away.
Our friend Tim has a podcast where he's reaching out to non-Joshi listeners who might want to get into it, and he has somebody on who's never seen or is going to watch a Joshi match that they've never seen before, and then they hit Tim up with questions. They talk about the match.
Someone with low Joshi familiarity.
It's really smart. I've learned a lot. Tim is such a good person for this because he's just incredibly non-judgmental, and he's just so happy for people to be interested, so it's such a comforting little place. And I am reminded over and over and over again that if only Stardom aired on TV at 8 p.m. on the same night every night, we probably would be big Stardom heads. But so I was on this week. I watched Bozilla versus AZM, and I got horned out. Azumi. It is confusing, though. It's to try and connect the two. Yeah. Yeah, because your brain just keeps seeing it right now. But I know it's Azumi. And actually, on that podcast, I said Azumi. I sounded really smart, too, when I said it.
You weren't ready. You didn't think to prepare yourself mentally to say it here tonight with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job. It was a super fun listen.
Thank you.
Time.
Yeah. Thank you. Can you imagine that I spent an hour deep discussing one match?
No.
I was blown away, frankly. I was like, wow, she really got in there and talked a match only.
Sure did.
And I was scared for you. I was not I think you can do anything. I truly do. I think you are a wonderful, talented, funny, smart angel. You could do anything. But I felt like a dog that had been locked out of the house when I turned it on, where I was like, she's just in there without us. She's not, it's not safe for her. And I'm scratching at the door. I'm like, let me in. You can get killed so easily. Let me in. I have to protect you. But I couldn't get in. You only had Tim there. And I think that he was a really, I'm so grateful to him.
Yeah.
We owe him a fruit basket. He took good care of you.
He made me feel so comfortable. We talked about moves, but he didn't make me name any of them. He didn't make me, do any play-by-play.
Imagine if he did, though.
Yeah. He was
so
imagine if he was Did you notice that the move that she did at this point in the match was a reference to late 90s Tokyo trash party? And I'd be like, no, Tim, I didn't notice that.
No. Heart, no. Well, everybody go check it out. It's a great podcast. Tim's an angel, and Leah did a wonderful job. And that's all our business, I think, because, again, no happiness, only sadness. So, winter is coming. We watched a pay-per-view. I guess it was this weekend. Wow, time is not really working right now. We watched All Out this weekend. Let's very, very broad thoughts on All Out as a pay-per-view. What felt like, it feels like we've watched a pay-per-view a week for the past month. I understand that can't be true.
No, but it's
there's
like
another one breathing down our neck, too.
It's like 2.5 weeks. We have another one.
Good God.
God damn it.
Is it really 2.5 weeks?
It's like
really soon.
The second week of October, I think. So,
Tony. You are in trouble, mister.
It's another Saturday one, so I see a little Sunday night for us.
It's not fair. Saturday is a night to... It's like if we don't go out in the world on Saturday nights, as a society, we won't survive. And we're already really in danger. So it's like we shouldn't be inside watching pay-per-views. On a Saturday, we have to be out in the world reminding ourselves of our connections to other human beings. Okay? So we'll watch on Sunday, probably. But broad thoughts on All Out, the pay-per-view.
I thought it was mildly mediocre.
Wowie.
I feel like it was almost my worst ever pay-per-view experience, which doesn't mean that it's like the worst AEW pay-per-view ever, but it was like we watched it late because I refused to watch an Saturday afternoon pay-per-view. And
insupportable.
So when you're not watching it live, like you can't like pop into your various live chats to see what other people are saying or goof around or whatever, which like we were watching it together, but still it like didn't help. And then I was mostly unspoiled, but you do get spoiled for a little bit, which is less fun too.
I got spoiled for quite a bit because I think I somehow in my mind I was like, we can't get spoiled, but that doesn't apply to me. I never could get spoiled, and then just like went everywhere totally freely for a whole day. And every time I got spoiled was like, how could this have happened? Just easily, you stupid idiot. So I was spoiled for most stuff.
I was spoiled for the title change because I accidentally opened Instagram on like a thumb memory thing, and the very first post on my feed was Kris Statlander posing with the belt, and I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate because you can't even be mad. You're like, yeah, you are allowed to do that. You're totally allowed to do that for sure.
Yeah, it was on me to brick my phone, and I did it. Yeah. And then the pay-per-view itself, like, the second half was good, but the first half was such a slog. Yeah. Like, 2.5 hours in, I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this, you know?
Anne's about to quit the podcast. She's like, guys, this is it for me. I'm afraid just leave me here to die.
Straw.
I do think it's unfortunate for Tony, maybe for you guys too, that it's like you're getting kind of like the meanest possible thoughts we could have about the pay-per-view, because I actually thought the back half like mostly slapped. Like I thought most of the stuff that happened after it hit its stride was really good actually, but the first half was so weird, and I don't know why he booked anything that was in the first half. I don't know why he booked all those things in a row. That I was ground down. By the time we got to the good stuff, it was like, how could you do this to me? Why couldn't you have started with everything good? And then the back half is just the stuff that I am lukewarm or upset about.
Yeah. Or at least had like a good start and then a soggy middle and then a good end, you know, or like some ups and downs instead of just like soggy.
I think at one point you said like, I guess we're just in the soggy middle. And I was like, and it's been the soggy middle since the moment the show started. There hasn't been a moment of the show thus far that has not been the soggy middle.
I don't think it can be my least favorite pay-per-view so long as World's End exists every year.
But really bad one.
Every year.
Every year, it's terrible.
It's pretty bad. But this was
and I've definitely been madder at things. Like, again, I don't think it was the worst pay-per-view.
No, I wasn't even mad. Like, I was just
I wasn't mad. I was
thank
just
God
bored.
I didn't pay for this.
Yeah. Because I've been mad at past pay-per-views, and World's End is always sucks ass. But, yeah, boy, I don't know. It was a combo of things where I was just like, well, I sure am watching this for 5 hours.
I think Tony did not set himself up for success with the match order. That is the biggest thing that I'll say is like, I wish I had been more in a better mental space for, again, the back half, which I thought was like mostly all great matches. I really enjoyed them and would have loved to enjoy them more. Would have loved to really enjoy them.
Because I was so tired by that
so
point
sleepy.
that it was like hard to... Yeah.
Exhausted. Couldn't believe what he'd done to me. Okay. Well, so on that bright note, but hey, we're still about to have a pretty fun time. So we will get into it. Okay. I think I've split some of this up a little weird because the Don Callis family are in like, I don't know, kind of like almost every match. So they're not fully, but anyway, I've had to split them up a little bit. So we're going to start with parts of the DCF. Hangman, our world champ, main evented All Out versus the protostar Kyle, middle name Fletcher, and retained his belt despite Kyle's best efforts. This match, it was so unfortunate that it was the main event. So important that it was the main event in some ways, but then so unfortunate too. I rewatched some of it and was like, yeah, this is really, really good. I wouldn't say I fully appreciate it in the moment as much as one could have.
Yeah, I feel bad because it's like I could tell it was good wrestling, but it wasn't the kind of match that really gets me going. Probably in the first place, I think Leah said during it, she was like, unfortunately, I think it's boring good wrestling, which I kind of did feel like was the case. So it's like, it was really good. I was so tired and ground down by that point. I was just kind of like, I mean, okay, Plus, like, I mean, I like Kyle Fletcher. I love Hangman. They weren't doing sex to each other, so it wasn't going to get me that perked up,
No,
Yeah.
and it's like the outcome was pretty foretold.
Yep.
We knew that there wasn't going to be any fun run-ins. Like, they were just doing good wrestling, which is good. Like, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm one of those people that I'm like, all the wrestling got in the way of my TV show. But, but it was like, after a long pay-per-view to just have a straightforward good match was kind of like, well, this should have been on Dynamite. I'm sorry. We're going to get canceled.
I know.
This
is not an auspicious start for us girls. But it is like, I don't know. I keep trying to put my finger on it. It's like, what is it? Like, in many ways, I think lots of what Kyle Fletcher is doing is like, I think he's being very, like, interesting and arresting, and I liked watching their, like, bodies together. Not in a sexy way, kind of, but, like, I just kept thinking about us being like, Kyle Fletcher has a body that was made in a gym, and Hangman has a body that, like, was made in a barn. And then I was thinking about that a lot, being like, that's true, because look at Kyle's tight little bod. It's a little too tight, if you ask me. So I was, like, entertaining myself. But I think I just keep being like, Kyle, I just don't sense that there's something really fucked up and broken in you that could like just go loco at any time. Like, I'm like, you are a bad guy, and it is kind of sexy to be like, you're not ready to be the best, and you're only 26, so you're like, I am. You're just a baby, so you're like, I am ready to be the best. Like, it's not nothing, but then I'm like, I just don't see in you yet like that like real character note of like, I am putting on a facade of confidence, like something I'm like, or like, I think I'm confident, but underneath it, like I could become a wreck so easily, which is the thing of course I crave. Yeah. So
and
there's
the thing
something
is, like,
a little
again,
lacking there.
I'm not mad that they had the feud, because the only way Kyle Fletcher is going to get good at it is by doing it and working with people like Hangman. So it's completely fine that he did this. And I'm not even that mad it was on the pay-per-view. It's just like, unfortunate that it was just stacked in a way that I was just like, well, I'm glad you guys are having fun.
Yeah. And you guys had such a nice play date. That's so good for you. It was a technically good match. Okay, don't yell at us. Please don't yell at us. Please don't yell at us. Okay. Now, oh yeah, and then Taz was in a horrible.
Oh my God, I was very distracted by what was going on with Taz, and he got so much worse in this match. Like, he was bad the whole pay-per-view. It was like, oh, are you cranky? Do you need a nap? Like, he was so mad at Bryan Danielson, and it was like, look, I know Bryan Danielson is also an ex-wrestler and had a better career than you, and you probably feel like your job's at risk, but your job's gonna be more at risk if you don't do your job off the reservation.
If you don't do your job, then your job is really gonna be at risk.
Yeah.
It did feel like, I don't know, you can sense when it's fun banter, but I'm like Bryan Danielson is not the person that you could do like mean banter with, even because his whole vibe is just like, I don't recognize it. I don't recognize it. Like, he's not going to like poke back in a fun way. He's just kind of like, oh, you just said something mean? It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was distracting. Okay, so then Hangman comes to Dynamite this week. He opens the show
I will
with
say about the match, not to be super
filibuster.
only negative,
Okay, filibustering.
because
Yeah.
I'm sorry about the filibuster.
No,
I'm talking about the moves and the match.
I'm so sorry, and I respect you, and please continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just now I'm being Taz. You just correct me, and I think you're.
And congratulations on your male energy, and you may continue. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I popped big time when Hangman did Kenny's moves.
Yes.
I thought that was very cool and
he did
fun.
a swerve move too, right?
Yeah.
I think.
He did a Kenny and a
moves
swerve
too.
move, and Kyle
Fun.
did an
Hot.
Osprey move. Yeah.
Oh, hot.
Which
Well,
is like, oh, Kyle, so you remember that you and Osprey used to be friends.
that is infuriating, actually,
Yeah.
because if they never do like a come to Jesus emotional thing about that, then I'm like, then you're not allowed to do his move. I don't want to see it if I don't get to see something for me, which is like one of you screaming like, I lost my hand at the other one. Okay?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, I did like all that stuff. So.
Congratulations on seeing those moves, Dan. Hangman was back at it on Dynamite. He opened the show with a backstage promo about how Kyle took him to, quote, his absolute limits in a way, quote, many have never done before. Hey, nothing bad to say about that. I like that very much. And he promised to keep watching Kyle for years to come and begged him not to be a disappointment. Sounds like my mother. He went on to fight ROH Pure Champion Lee Moriarty later in the show. Totally fine match. And, we don't have anything to say about that except that Hangman looked like really hot, like so crazy hunky. He's just really good.
His hair was really flipping and flopping in a way that was fairly arresting. His hairy boobs are looking
Hairy
great.
boobs. His boobs, the hairline looked so cut on his chest kind of that I almost was like, are you shaving under a certain point? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, we can't even get into all that. I wish
How much manscaping's happening? Yeah. No, totally.
Okay, I don't think any of us know what's next for Hangman. Did one of you have like a really strong opinion about that?
No, I hope it's, he's like fighting the Death Riders again next week, which I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always going to enjoy Hangman and Mox, but I am ready for
He's fighting the Death Riders next week?
Yeah, him and, was it?
It was Darby and Kris. You know, I'm not sure.
Adam
So
Page
that's-
and the Ops versus the Death Riders, Claudio.
Oh, the other one. Okay,
Yeah.
I see. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know why it somehow like didn't seem possible to me that Darby could still be fighting the Death Riders and Hangman would be. But that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's all good. Okay.
It's fine. I'm not mad because it's going to be a fun match. Like, I guaranteed that I'm going to be into that match, but I am kind of ready for Hangman to do something like a little new, a little interesting. I mean, I'm not mad.
He's going to have to feud with someone who's not only 26. You know what I mean? Like someone who can really carry some weight, okay?
Yeah.
Someone who has something to prove in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need someone who's got something a little unhinged inside them, can have a few different little layers, or at least like a pure animal energy of losing their minds, you know.
I'd love if somebody came at Hangman in a way, like, what if he had a challenger whose vibe was like, I will be your next nemesis, and who's just like, I hate you, I think about you all the time, and Hangman was like, I don't think about you at all.
Oh my God. Someone's like,
I
I want to mean more to you than Swerve did. I want you to hate me more than you hated Swerve. I want you to, I want you to think about me. I want to change your life. And Hangman's like, well, I probably won't, though.
I kind of have
Max
a lot of
Caster?
lovers already. I think I'm just trying to think of, like, what is something that someone could come at the champ with, like an energy that would just be like, now that's something new. Like, that is something I haven't seen in a minute. I mean, obviously,
that'd
that's
honestly
wrestling,
be a great gimmick
kinda
for
good.
anyone to have, like being like, I am Hangman's nemesis. I will make myself his nemesis. Like,
and that's something Hangman could play off really well. I mean, he did a, you know, it's no one's complaining about Hangman. He did a really good job with this. It's just that it's like, Kyle, I need just like one thing about you that's like slightly off. Like, I need to see one thing that's a little like, ooh, there is something roiling under there that we don't understand.
And he's doing very weird things in his presentation, so it's not like he's not capable of it, but it wasn't like Hangman was bringing anything out in him.
Don't you think Kyle has been kind of like, his promos especially that last one on Dynamite, almost flirted with like a face turn where he was just like, yes, I want to fight you clean. And then he came back and was like, I fought you clean and it was so important. And I know I'm not ready yet, but I will be someday. And I was like, are you face turning in front of me?
Well, it's like, what, I don't know what to take from like a number. We'll get to them later, but like a number of the post PPV promos that we got on Dynamite were like, now who do you think you are? What do you think happened at the? Did I misunderstand what happened at the pay-per-view? Am I the idiot?
Yeah. Also, when you were talking about a guy who is like coming at Hangman, being like, I want to be your nemesis, I am like suddenly shocked that that's not the tack MJF took, because he loves a slightly work shoot thing, and it actually would have worked for his character to be like, hey, I want to be over, and you know how you're over? If you're a Hangman's nemesis, so I'm going to make you care about me, Hangman. And Hangman's like, I see
Plus
right
a little
through
bit
you.
of like personal jealousy of like Hangman and Swerve's connection that MJF doesn't really have with anybody. Like you could really dig in there. Yeah.
I mean, to have a nemesis is like the most, in wrestling, like basically the most intimate thing that you can, it's the most intimate connection you can have with another person.
I think that's an opinion that's like legitimate. Like I think it's not even our crazy brains. I like
no.
most people
Everyone
would agree
that.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're among the normies on this one. And that's weird.
That's
here.
who you're connected to in their feuds. You know, you're Brett and Sean.
Oh my.
Okay, you should know those names.
I know.
Those names weren't in the Bible. Oh my gosh. Okay. So back to the pay-per-view. Okay. So Mascara, Dorada, Takeshita, and Okada had their three-way match. This was in the back half where the matches were good, and I actually did love this match. I was surprised because I've been let down by Okada, and we can't get into all that again. But it's like I've just like never really gotten it. And actually during this match, I was like, oh, I do get it. And I was rewatching the ending today, and like the way he hit the Rainmaker on Mascara Dorada, I was like, I get it. Yeah. I do think he's cool. I think he's cool now. I do think he's cool now. I don't know why I think it's like Mascara Dorada was so like flirty. Like he was just like, come on, have some fun with me, guys. And they did.
Yeah, they did have fun.
It was for sure the most fun Okada match I've seen, for sure. They
all went to the ginger stable, the fig stable.
They got their fig. They went out there. Their fig.
Yeah, they got their fig. That's what everyone says.
They say they got their fig. And I thought, since Takeshita and Okada had their first like brief backstage face-off, I have been like, I do see an energy between them that I haven't seen between either of them with pretty much anybody else.
Yeah.
And in this match, I saw it some more, and they had, it's like they had these moments where they would like kind of like gang up on Mascara Dorada, and then there was a moment where they then kind of like turned really slowly to look at each other. They do just look like they're in their get-along shirt. And they're like, and we're about to tear it off. Like, I can't be doing this with you for much longer. Like, you can just sense that they know the top's going to come off at some point soon. It's just a question of when.
And it is so fun for Takeshita to be Don Callis' prize horse and be like the one he loves above all, the one he praises like big time, and then Okada shows up and it's like this guy who has cast a long shadow in Japan and now suddenly is here in Takeshita's company and taking the favor of his, whatever Don Callis is to him. I was about to be like father lover, which doesn't quite cover it.
Oh, that hasn't come up on the podcast in a long time. Okay.
Yeah, now that Sting's retired. Father breeder. Oh, boy.
That's not okay. Shut it down. Too far. Unless, no, too far. Probably. I don't know. Go on, Leah. Oh no, you're done.
No,
okay.
that was the end of it. I think that's a very fun dynamic for Takeshita to be like, what the fuck? I'm the favorite son. Where the fuck did you come from?
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
Like, it's like, why would you bring him in here? Like, you literally, Don Callis has so many, like, it's like these sons are going to have to start eating each other at a certain point, because it's just like, he's basically, his vibe with most of them is like, and you replaced my beloved son, Kenny. And it's like, it almost is like they don't know that he's saying that about all of them. Yeah. And at a certain point, one of them's just going to be like, well, I actually replaced his son, Kenny. And they're all going to be like, he said I replaced his son, Kenny.
That's actually a really good idea for a promo. Don Callis should be doing promos backstage where he's whispering something and he's like, I haven't told anybody this, but all my hopes are on you. You're the future of this family. And then it like cuts to like the next week he says the exact fucking thing to another member.
Well, this is the moment to do it because Kyle just lost that match against Hangman. And he's been saying it so openly about Kyle. So it's like he should be going around to everyone just being like, listen, Kyle really let me down. And there's a space at the top there now.
Yeah.
And I really, you're the guy to fill it. Like, you are the next Kenny Omega. I thought it was him. It's you. If he says that to like 5 different guys and then it comes out, it's like, now we got a stew going.
Yeah.
Also, it's funny if it takes like 6 to 7 guys to fill Kenny's spot,
Yeah, that also feels right.
That feels kind of right. It's like, and it's like, but do any of you have the tummy troubles that he has? Because if not, I am not sure that you are fit to fill his shoes.
Oh, what? You have healthy bodies? Get out of here.
Oh, your gut works good? Get out.
On BT at the end when the Bucks were like, Kenny's not really around anymore, I was like, I know! Even they can't get him back.
We're all saying that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I liked the match very much. I had a really nice time. I like him now. Now I'm like into it. I do have one point that I want to raise really quickly, which is I had to kind of come to Jesus about, it was a relative sizes of men thing, where in my mind, Takeshita is about 7 feet tall, and Okada is the size of a buck, and a buck is the size of a mouse. But then when you see Okada and Takeshita next to each other, they are the same size.
It is pretty crazy. I was like,
I don't know what's going on here.
Who's Okada standing next to that I feel like he's not that tall? But he's standing next to the Buck, so that doesn't check out at all. And then I'm who's Takeshita standing next to that I feel like he's a giant?
Has he been taller than the Bucks this whole time?
How is he wearing
what size?
How is he wearing Nick's gear all the time if he's that much bigger?
I don't know. Is it actually that Takeshi is small and I didn't know that? I thought he was large.
I think he's
large.
Because he's always out there standing next to Kyle Fletcher, and I think they're both above 6 feet,
I guess at this point you could say like Kyle Fletcher is 3'4", and I'd be like, I guess maybe so. And that's on me for not noticing.
Not what Don Callis is telling us, but he is a known liar. Kyle's probably not even 26. He's probably 46.
We're always getting worked.
Okay, that would be the hottest wrestling reveal of the year, is that in kayfabe, Kyle Fletcher is 46. And he just visits the stables a lot. He's just getting his fig a lot. Okay, well, anyway, and then Okada and Takeshita had a little, Okada won, he pinned Mascara Dorada, and then he, held the belt up in Takeshita's face. And I thought this was some of Takeshita's best, acting, actually, was that he really did look like, I am aware that there is a full crowd here. I'm about to take out a knife and gut you like a fish in front of them, and I don't care if I go to jail. And then he left. All right, let's move on. It was not fake, as we worried it might be last week. Eddie did come back at the pay-per-view. Eddie Kingston, ever heard of him? And he fought Big Bill, and they fought. And it was not anything other than what you might have imagined when you thought, I guess Eddie's going to fight Big Bill. And that's to no one's discredit. It was what it was, and what it was a little confusing. Yeah.
And it was and he, of course, didn't get a huge return pop. I mean, he got a pop, and I think there were crowd miking issues, but it was just this could have been we could have had it all, and we just
should have
Eddie fighting Big Bill on a pay-per-view singles match.
Do you guys think that it's because Jack Perry and Orange Cassidy were coming back and they didn't want to do 3 of the same kinds of returns, so they tried to do something different?
Well, I mean, I don't, but neither
possible,
of those.
But you could just stretch one of them out to a different pay-per-view.
Too.
Yeah. Could have brought Jack Perry back at any of the previous pay-per-views.
Oh, anytime in the last 6 months. Although I guess now Jack Perry's thing makes more sense to me if they were we're waiting to bring him back to be with Luchasaurus. And then Luchasaurus did Luchasaurus come back earlier than...
Yeah,
maybe
he did.
Yeah, he came back earlier because of
Nick Wayne's angle.
Yeah. So I think they made the best they could out of all of that. I think we'll get to that later. But
you can see how that got messy and it's understandable. Yeah.
The thing that I wondered about this was whether because of the Jericho contract stuff, like, and people being like, is Jericho going to resign? I wondered if Jericho was supposed to have a match versus Big Bill or something. And then he didn't. And then it was like, well, we want to give Big Bill a good match anyway, because I don't know, that seems nice. So then they were like, well, Eddie's coming back. I don't know, but
it's possible, but
I'm
it's
wearing
just
my
like
widow sweets. I'm so scared.
If this was a makeup to Big Bill, like that wouldn't be bad. But then again, why didn't they have Eddie on the TV for the last 3 weeks? Because Eddie could have built something with Big Bill that would have gotten me excited because Eddie's magic, but they just didn't give it to us.
If you're gonna have like a big singles match, it's just like Eddie and Big Bill are not gonna help each other. You know, it's like Eddie hasn't wrestled in a long time. Like wrestling isn't his strength compared to promos. Big Bill's a mid-carder, which is fine, and I love him. But, you know, like, it's just, like, not setting anybody up for success, I feel like.
No, I mean, Big Bill would have been a good opening, like, first opponent for Orange Cassidy because, like, little guy plus big guy is fundamentally fun, even if, like, you know, Big Bill's not that charismatic.
And OC's gonna
it would have been fun.
Yeah.
But Eddie versus Big Bill doesn't have the same inherent, like, carnival feel to it.
Just want to marvel at it. Yeah.
You're like, at the very least, I think it should have been a carnival of freaks, and it was not.
Listen, either it's a good wrestling or it's fucking freak show, and if you're not going to give me either, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I think we're confused. We don't know why it happened, but it's no hate to anybody involved. It's like you could never Big Bill. They could never make me hate you. Eddie, of course, they could never make me hate you. Anyway, whatever. They fight. Eddie wins. Brian Keith runs out to attack Eddie, which I have a whole thing, like, I just got in my head about it, where I was like, if Jericho's gone and Brian Keith and Big Bill are still together, like, do they have a relationship to each other? And I was like, no, I don't really believe that they're friends. I certainly don't believe they're normal lovers, but I'm like, actually, it's kind of fun to me if they are just henchmen who are confused that their boss died and are like, I don't know what to do, so I guess we'll just stay together? Like,
I can't believe I've never watched a buddy cop movie that's just about two henchmen who lost their boss and are just like, but what do we do now?
It does feel like it should have been a Simon Pegg comedy like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, how could it, how could there not have been like an inverse of Hot Fuzz kind of? So I kind of like that. But anyway, Brian Keith runs out to attack Eddie. The lights go off. Hook appears and saves Eddie. And they embrace and they leave arm in arm. In the moment, I was like, I don't... On the one hand, someone, of course, has to... We knew that Hook couldn't be alone. That wasn't safe for him. Yeah. Someone has to take him under their wing. Obviously, it's like if somebody is going to kind of get something out of Hook, something unexpected out of Hook, character-wise, it's going to be Eddie Kingston. So that made sense. But but that was... I would say I was like, this all technically checks out. I watched that Hook Eddie Kingston backstage promo afterwards.
Twitter only, inexplicably. I don't know why all our Eddie promos are Twitter only, but whatever.
I don't know if they're going to show it on Collision because Eddie has a match on Collision, so they might show it there, but
we have to contact somebody. I mean, this isn't right.
Malpractice. Yeah.
This is malpractice.
I did think that it kind of makes sense in the way that's like Hook, like they're really trying to give Hook as many like talented mentors as possible to try to find something. And also it kind of felt like, you know, when like an animal in a zoo loses a baby and they like give it like an orphan and they're like, that keeps them like spirits up. Kind of felt like they knew Eddie was going through a bad time and he's nervous about coming back to wrestling. And so they give him Hook and they're like, that's their project. That's Eddie's project. They give him
a rock to sit on.
Right. So he won't be as scared about like getting back into things because he's responsible for this baby now.
And I think that's very beautiful. And but honestly, I started the promo being like, okay, I guess sell me on it. And by the end, I was just laughing to myself, like, you get me every time, Eddie Kingston. I truly do. And something about the faces, Hook was making the strangest. He just kept looking at Eddie like, I do love this guy. I just kind of love this guy. And I'm I'm like quietly proud that he's being like, this guy really helped me. And he was just being like, oh, you don't have to say that, but yeah, I really tried.
It was like Hook has had a crush on Eddie since he was 12 was like the vibe he was giving off.
Yeah. I didn't expect to but by the end I was like, okay, yeah, show me what you got, boys. I'm in. I'm all in. Yeah. Hook really, and it just felt like kind of real. He really sold, like he was just like, I will be everything that I can be to you. I will do anything I can to be the partner that you need. Yeah. I won't fail you, Eddie. I won't fail you.
People brought up that we had Hook and Eddie in the dating game, like possibly on our crossover episode with Trish and Sarah. It's like
we did.
Yeah, so
we kind of caused this.
Yeah. They listened to it and heard it and was like, great idea.
Yeah.
Maybe not dating unless.
Well, and I think in our universe, like Hook had a crush on Eddie. It was tricking him into going out. So I mean, Hook seems to be playing that role.
Hook said those girls get it. Those girls get it.
I love that Eddie also started that promo that being like, y'all been in catering lately? They got this brownie.
Yeah.
Finally, the dam has broken on catering. And if I had to guess, if I were a farmer's almanac for wrestling, I would say we'll be hearing more and more about catering. And we'll be there more and more often.
We really shifted the Overton window when it comes to catering. He also was like, this guy's new, like about the cameraman, and he was like, Giancarlo didn't want to do it, and I was like, Eddie, please tell me more backstage, like comment more on the crew.
It was so relatable because it's so funny to like come back to work and be like after a long absence and like you've been in this workplace for a long time, and then you show up and you're like, who the fuck are all these new people?
It really, it was so good to see him. And he is just like, he's so good at like, you know, he's just saying stuff and you're just like, yeah, that feels very real. Like, I understand you as a person right now. Like, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, like what you were, like all the things you were going through, but like, I really believe it. And also at one point he leaned towards the camera and I was like, I fucking forgot that God reached down and put those eyes in your head with his own two hands. And when I see them, I get caught. Like, it is like being in a tractor beam. Yeah. Like, it's just like, I cannot look away from you. You're the most beautiful man who's ever lived.
He said something to Hook about being like really handsome. Like the two of them are like the most handsome or something. I forget what he said. And he was like, look at these eyebrows, and took off his ball cap. And I was like, I think you think that you're joking, but you are one of the most handsome men on this roster.
So beautiful. It's sickening. Yeah. And you know what? Hook looked like he was thinking it too. All right. Anything else? Y'all done here? Let's move on.
One
sure.
more quick thing. I did have to keep repeating to myself over and over and being like, wrestlers love to work you. Because when he was like, like, the only people that called me were Hook and Monkey, I self-soothingly kept being like, he can't say that Mox called him because that would break kayfabe.
He did say, I thought it was quite sweet. He goes, and other people, and you know, I won't say it because of wrestling. And I do think that he was like thinking about all the people that that canonically has beef with, and is like, I can't say that I talked to you. So I thought that was quite sweet. Yeah.
I did have to like keep like repeating to myself that I'm like, it's okay.
Wrestling is performance. This is theater. This is theater.
Okay. I know Mox was on the phone with him every day.
I know Mox didn't leave him alone.
Okay. The Bucks, Brodito, Jet Speed, and the Don Callis family had their 4-way ladder match. And it was, man, I kind of forgot about ladder matches. Don't you feel like we haven't really had like maybe we've had a bad one, but I don't feel like we've had like a really like honking ladder match for a while.
Been a while, yeah.
I think it's been a while.
They are insane. They are fucked up.
And these men were just doing things to these ladders. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Yeah, they were fucking the ladder.
Humping these ladders like dogs.
I feel like they're always trying to find like new things to do with the ladder, and it's like, what if we have one ladder like suspended horizontally, and then I do a backflip like onto it somehow and look like I break my ankle. Like, yeah, great idea. Cool.
That what little Jet Speed did, the little one, Mike Bailey, what the little Mike Bailey did, the speed one, what the little speed one did.
I love the little speed one.
I thought that construction of that sentence was you're going to be like, Jet Speed barely participated. What little they did was, and I was like, wow, that was kind of rude. I thought that they like participated.
Commentary construction. I mean, no, everyone participated, and everyone was totally deranged. I mean, they participated. And everyone gets a participation award, and that's our culture. Okay, that's what we believe in.
What's that banner? Everyone's doing a good job except Cody.
And you know what? I did actually, though. I kept thinking about that Cody Sammy ladder match and being like, that did. You know, I was so mad at Cody at the time, and I hated Sammy at the time. But even I look back on that and think that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know. Insane. I still remember like one or two of the spots from that. Like I was, as you were saying, ladder matches were insane. I was like, man, remember that time that Sammy like flipped right off? Yeah.
During the middle of that match, of like the all-out ladder match, I was like, remember when Mox was like, I'm not fucking doing ladder matches anymore. They fucking hurt.
I think he was basically no one even appreciates it. Like you chip your knee or whatever. Like,
he did basically make it sound like every ladder match you do releases 10 little bone shards into your body that they're not even going to identify on an x-ray machine for another 10 years. You know, it's like, if you do enough of those, and then I was just sitting there being like, I hope it's all okay inside those Bucks' bodies. I hope that their bones are all intact. They seem like sometimes the Bucks are so crazy in the like they're just so good at doing stuff and not dying that sometimes I'm like, you started wrestling so early, did your bones like not like calcify the way the rest of ours did? Like, are you rubber in there for real? Like, you can tell me you can tell me your private medical information if your bones are rubber in there.
Like they've still got like newborn baby bones like that don't really break. Cannot break.
The match was really just like, it was, you know, it's like the kind of thing where it's like you can't really recount like what happened in there, just crazy shit. I just saw so much crazy shit I can't even imagine it. Brodito retained the titles. Afterwards, the Bucks were in the ring, just kind of being like, how could this happen to us? Like, what is going on? Like, you could just see Matt being like, and we have no money anymore. And suddenly, little JB comes into the ring. There's a moment of like, where's this going? He attacks them. They're already
commentary called him Jungle Boy too. So they're
just if you didn't hear Allie say that, let me say it again. He attacked them with no provocation.
Okay, all right. Except for their whole personalities and their entire past history. Like,
okay, you can't just turn face because the Bucks have bad personalities.
Actually, that's a great reason.
It's kind of like the top reason to turn face. It's just someone being like, I can't be associated with those bad personalities anymore. I have to become a good guy.
Like, if I have to change my whole personality to get away from them, that's the price I'll pay. Yeah.
The price I'll pay. So he attacks them.
Rudely.
They're okay. That's Leah's opinion. Only Leah's opinion. I think he's justified because he's my little baby. I love you forever, my baby. You'll be Jack Perry. He attacks them. Rocky Romero jumps in to kind of save them. Mostly, he's kind of like herding JB away from them so the Bucks can get their bearings. And then they attack JB back. They like shove him to the floor. They get him in the. They say assume the position. They get him in the BTE position, and. Where did he learn this? Jack Perry's little headband. He looks up and he's doing the like the Tony Punk like surprise bitch. Bet you forgot about me. He's smiling. We cut to a video package, and he's grave digging. He's out in the wilderness grave digging. He's driving.
I do think it's so funny when bad guys are like about to attack someone and then the lights go out, so they have to stop and watch the video. And I feel like people complain about it less than they complain about like invisible camera stuff, which is funny to me.
I think it's because, well, I guess I can only speak for myself, but I'm like very relatable. Like if I were doing a crime and someone started playing a video, it wouldn't be possible for me to stop myself from being like, all right, we'll watch the video. Well, let's just see how this plays out. I'm just interested. I just like being entertained. And we find out that, of course, Jack Perry was the one who resuscitated Luchasaurus and pumped him full of some, I don't know, he's been working on science, I guess, along with his knives. And so he brings him back to life. And then we cut back to the ring, and Luchasaurus has come into the ring, and he choke slams both Bucks at the same time. And the crowd is cheering.
The crowd started singing Jungle Boy's song before the music played and doing the dance, which was pretty great.
And JB has been thrown into the ropes, so he's like kind of like leaning against the ropes, looking at Luchasaurus. And I really was like, you know what, you do have acting in your blood. Because the face that he was making was just like, it did feel like he was like, I know I did bad things, but you do still love me. You always be my friend.
I don't deserve this moment, but I'm going to grab it with both hands, you know?
I really did feel, I mean, I teared up through this whole thing. And I like didn't really anticipate, like I was very excited because I wanted him to come back. And like, I hoped that he would come back with Luchasaurus. I didn't anticipate that I would feel so incredibly moved and just be like, I think this all adds up. You've done barely anything. And I think it all adds up perfectly.
Yeah.
Aside from my little bit that I'll be continuing, I teared up as well and was just very moved. And I just had this moment where I was like watching them hug, where I was like, "Those are my friends. Those were my first friends. They were here when I came in, and now they're back together, and they're both older, and they've experienced things, and they're in different places, but they're still together, and that's beautiful."
I know. There's a real, like, trauma bond with all the guys from the pandemic, you know? And it's just like, it felt so good to see them back together.
It was very interesting because they did a whole so it's like then, you know, Luchasaurus threw his kill switch belt into he kind of took it off and JB was like, throw it away, and he threw it away, and then they embraced and they played Tarzan Boy and everyone was dancing and
JB looked like he was kind of tearing up.
He looked really moved, yeah. Well, I'm sure it does feel kind of like weird to be like, I hope people want to do my face thing again.
Yeah, like, maybe they won't remember me. Maybe they won't remember the dance.
Maybe they won't like it. Maybe they won't care. Like, they really did. And then we got it. So we got a package on Dynamite this week that was like doing it was like Jurassic Express history, and it was showing all these clips from the early days. And
he looks so young.
He's such a tiny, tiny baby. And he gave this speech that I actually did think was quite, I mean, it was like really, you know, it's like florid, but I was like, I think this is quite effective. He did this like, life is uncertain, life is fragile, it can all change in the blink of an eye. We can be swept so far away from who we ever thought we could become. The things we love most can be lost, and dreams can turn into nightmares. Victims, aren't we all? So funny.
It vaguely reminded me of this speech from the first episode of Friday Night Lights, where like Coach Taylor is like, we can all fall.
Yeah, when he said, like, can we choose to be better, stronger, to rebuild? Can we hear the call once more and pick ourselves up to ride again? And I was just thinking, I was like, why do I think this is such an effective reunion? Like, it's like, I like it because I like them. But I think it was seeing all those pictures of him, like all the video of him being really, really young. And he looked so... When we started watching, we always used to be like, little Jungle Boy is this sweetest, stupidest boy alive. Because everything that happened to him, it looked like he'd only been on Earth for a day. And he was like, I can't understand how you could do this to me. Like, I don't know how you could hurt me this way. Yeah. And then, like, everything happened. It's like, you know, we saw him go on such an insane journey. We saw him experience baby's first betrayal and, like, baby's second betrayal. And then we saw, like, baby's first, like, hardening his heart against the entire world because, like, he can't imagine that, like, he could ever have anything nice again. And it's, like, something about just, like, having seen the whole arc, it's just, like, the way that he was, like, looking at Luchasaurus was just, like, maybe you can't go home again. Like, this whole time I've been thinking, like, you can never go home again, and that's the great tragedy, but I'm, like, realizing, like, if home is a person, like, maybe you can't.
Oh, you know? That's beautiful.
I felt really moved.
Yeah, that whole, like, maybe what you lost isn't actually lost. Maybe you can go back to it. Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't know why they had to do it on the backs of the Young Bucks, but fine.
I don't know. They're really good backs, Leah. That's probably why. It's probably because they have really beautiful backs. So
yeah. They're very strong, so they could take it.
And so I think they did used to be a boy and his dinosaur, and now they have a new shirt, a man and his monster, which I think is, and that's, you know, it's like you grow, you fuck up, you make like really bad decisions, but then like you still be together. You can still have that ampersand between your names. Okay, all right.
If JB comes out again on his shoulders, I'm gonna really lose it. Although,
I'm gonna barf.
Yeah, I bet he probably won't. But
no,
because he's a grown up now. But
yeah,
still.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else in here about any of these men?
No, this was great.
Okay.
This was a good return.
Yeah. No complaints. Very happy. MJF fought Mark Briscoe at All Out in a tables and tacks match. I had to reread the summary of the match to remember how tables factored into it at all, because the tacks loomed so large in my memory of the match. Complimentary. I think they really did not cheap out on those tacks.
No,
they really bought an adequate amount of tacks.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Did you see that Tony said that when they were workshopping this idea, they almost called it 10,000 tacks match because that's how many tacks there were.
Did he say? I did get quite distracted in the middle of this match because I started Googling like largest quantity of tacks you can buy. Can I buy a barrel of tacks? Wholesale tacks? And then I couldn't find any resources. So I was like, what if I were an independent wrestling promoter and I were trying to do this? It would be impossible. I don't know who I would contact. And then I wanted to know if he reached out to a factory of some sort and bought I want to know if he bought a barrel of tacks. I know he has the connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think he could call up the CEO of, Staples.
General Tax.
Right, General Tax, that brand we all know.
Well, I think then I went into kind of a fantasy where I was like, maybe at our pumps, what I would love to have is kind of it's the arts and crafts room, and it's like a general store, and you have barrels of tacks, barrels of Legos, and so someone can come in and be like, I'm gonna need 3 scoops of tacks, and
Yeah, it's just like the loose candy bin aisle of the grocery store,
exactly.
the coffee bean dispenser. Yeah, just get out as many tacks as you need. Put them back when you're done, after they've been disinfected.
After they
But let's be responsible, people.
Let's be responsible, but I do like your reduce, reuse, recycle mindset here.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
I thought you were going to say you were hoping people could be doing metallurgy and pouring tacks into molds.
Well, I did just get there. I was like, maybe they could contact a blacksmith.
Yeah,
maybe that'll be JB's next effort.
Yeah.
If JB started making artisanal tacks, I couldn't love him more in this moment, but what if I could love him more? I would love him the most I've ever loved anybody.
He's like, hey guys, for this match, I crafted my own tacks for us.
He's like, you know why I wasn't on AEW for 9 months? Because I was making tacks.
I was working
10,000
on my tacks.
It takes a long time to make that many tacks.
What is it? That's it's like if you're making origami cranes or whatever. It's like you make, 10,000 cranes or something.
Right.
That's what he was doing. He was like, I was on a mental journey. I was finding myself via tacks.
Jungle Boy, write a children's book called 10,000 Tacks.
That's an idea for Greg's mom.
Greg's mom? I think kids
Greg's
would love
mom
learning to
collaborate
read.
with Jungle Boy on a book called 10,000 Tacks.
That'll teach people. Teach little kids to learn to read.
I thought you were just going to say that'll teach people about tacks.
Okay. Sue, make an instructional manual with JB for tack making.
In these
I want people to learn
unprecedented
to
times, people need to learn about tacks.
Did I tell you guys that I have a friend who's a first grade teacher who bought that book independently of anything else?
Oh, really?
And she was
funny.
looking through it, and on the last page she was like, "Isn't this one of your wrestlers?" and sent me a picture because there's a picture of Greg in the back.
Yeah, it is one of our pet wrestlers.
Wow.
I was like, "It is."
We miss you, Greg. I hope you're okay. I hope pregnancy is going well for you. And
yeah, I hope that pregnancy is really safe and progressing. Everything seems okay.
And we welcome you back along with the other, our other faves, all the other big returns.
As with all of
coming back.
we'll say it about any medical thing that you're out with. If you want to post an ultrasound, please feel free. We'd love to see
Greg's usually pretty good at posting his medical imaging.
He's our only good one, actually.
Yeah.
So I'd love if you have some medical imaging, upload it. Okay, so it's mostly tacks, but some tables. Mark Briscoe wins the match. Let's talk MJF skier situation in the middle of this match. Want to do that? They don't even want to. They're so shy. He was free bleeding. He was free bleeding only in the crotch. I mean, we have to say it.
It's like, of course he wore white. We all know why. Yeah. At least it wasn't white panties. But then, the placement of all the bleeding was just fully crotch-centric. So it was like, do you need to get an excuse from Jim? Do you need to go to the nurse's office, get a tampon?
And honestly, I would have celebrated if MJF was just like, I have to go to the nurse. I have to go there. I can't be here anymore.
And then he tied a flannel shirt around his waist and then kind of walked out of the ring.
Yeah. He did lose. Do you want to hand it to him?
Yeah, he did lose.
Yeah, he did lose.
And this is like the, what is it? Like the third big loss in a row? Yeah.
He's been losing.
And I appreciate it.
And his talking times on Dynamite are down to 1 to 2 minute pre-tapes. So
perfect.
You got to hand it to him.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about his talking time. So we did get an MJF promo this week. It was filmed immediately after he lost to Mark Briscoe. And he was in a stairwell. So he got a little tip from Mox there, I think. And he said, I'm so angry right now, but I just do not have the energy to yell anymore. My ears pricked up. I said, that's the kind of thing I'm not hearing people say enough. I don't have the energy to yell anymore. I'd love to hear more wrestlers saying, I don't have the energy to yell anymore.
Let's bring those volumes down, gentlemen.
He goes on to explain that he really used to be the guy at AEW until Adam Cole came into his life and broke his ankle and broke my heart.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm feeling pandered to, and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of recaps how he ended up losing his title, the fallout from that, and then he says, something's missing. I'm not MJF. I'm a caricature. I'm playing MJF. Since I lost my title, I've made so many mistakes just to force myself to snap out of it, and all the while created doubt after doubt after doubt. See these tacks all over my body. They aren't tacks. They're doubts. I think it skipped something in there, but whatever. And then he says, I used to, Ospreay, Swerve, and Hangman used to be in my dust. Now I'm in theirs. He says, I'm going to go away for a while, and I won't come back until I'm the most, when I come back, I'll no longer be playing MJF. I won't even be the MJF of old. I won't come back until I'm the most dangerous I've ever been. And then he ate a tack and he spat it back out, which I was kind of like, that's fine. That's theatrical. You're welcome to do that. What did you guys think of this promo?
I loved it because I really like the moment where somebody looks at what they've been doing and is like, what is wrong with me?
It's not going good.
What have I been up to? And so in that moment where MJF just is like, hold on a minute. I tried to join the Hurt Syndicate.
That's true. Not in so many words, but that does seem to be a bit of a rock bottom moment, perhaps. Yeah, and I did really like him calling back to Adam Cole breaking his heart because, so often people just, don't carry on their character continuity and, what's affected them. So it's please, get that in the mix.
Yeah, I think with MJF, I don't feel, he has not shown a real ability to progress his character in the way that I think is most appropriate or interesting in the past. So I feel a little bit of hesitance, but I will say this is exactly the approach that I would recommend and that I like to see. I like for him to be I'm having a true come to Jesus. Right. Things are really going bad for me, and I don't feel good inside myself either. And I can identify there was an emotional thing that happened to me that has thrown me off so badly that I'm just going through the motions.
Yeah.
.buffy.mp3. I'm trying to be a person that I used to be, and I'm realizing that you can't be that person anymore. Right. This is a good kind of counterpoint to JB, actually, with the JB thing, to me is kind of you can't be the person you are anymore, but maybe you can have, if you acknowledge that you've changed, you can still have the love that you had, you know what I mean? And he's just just realizing you can't be that person. You have to accept that the things that happen to you will change you and that you'll be different after them.
Yeah.
Now I think he could come back and actually just be the old MJF. That's what I fear. But
wouldn't be surprised at all. But acknowledging this is pretty huge, and also it is since Adam Cole and losing the that's when his creative got really bad. Yeah. So it's I don't enjoy too much the work shooty things, but this felt like the right level of it to me. Where it's we're kind of acknowledging what we've been doing in kayfabe, which is good.
It lines up correctly. That it's that was shoot bad situation, shoot bad oh God, creative happened after that. But also, like, it's right that should be the thing that in kayfabe you're like, and it was, I couldn't come back from that. And I thought I could come back from that, and it turned out like I couldn't. It really fucked me up, and I haven't been able to say that.
Yeah. And his character has felt much more cartoony since that. So for him to be like, I feel like I'm a caricature of myself is like, let's reinvent. Let's.
Yeah, and I found that really interesting because I think, like, I mean, who knows? Like, MJF could come back and continue the same shit that he's always done, but there's a chance that he could come back and use everything that's happened and tie it all together and make something really interesting. And I feel like Mox is in the same kind of place where I think, like, sometimes it's like, well, it doesn't absolve you from forcing us to experience, 6 months of bad TV, but using it to launch something good should be commended. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
Landing the plane is a good thing regardless of how much turbulence it took to get there. Like, it doesn't absolve you, but I still reward you.
You've done the bad art, but you could do good art, and let's move forward with that.
Just one footnote: I do absolve Mox. I've absolved him. I didn't know I could be this happy with Mox, so I actually unilaterally absolved him. I'm so sorry. That was on me.
It is so funny because while bad things are happening, you're like, this has been going on forever, and then once it's over, you're like, that was just a few months. It was really fine, actually.
Yeah. Everything passes.
This too shall pass, yeah.
That's a philosophy that, it's so hard to internalize, but, like,
I'm constantly saying it to myself every time I'm having a bad day, to be honest, which is better than I was in my 20s, so.
Yeah. And also, suffering can be its own joy. Consider that. Okay, any other thoughts on MJF?
I'd love to see him the plane, and I'm enjoying where he is on the card right now in terms of...
You mean gone from the card because he wrote himself off TV for a while?
Writing himself off TV is great, and sort of having like a non-prestigious match right in the middle and then a 2-minute promo. It's like, yeah, let's do that.
I thought he did great. I'm in a very good humor with him right now, and
also I hope his hair's looking better and his body's looking better. Yeah,
we'd love to know why. That's the thing we don't understand. But
marriage.
Okay,
she taught him about conditioner.
I thought she divorced him already.
That's a joke that has to do with Chitchat Hour before we got on the pod.
I do kind of think the number one thing that most women have to teach most men is that conditioner exists. You're right. They don't know. Many of them don't know.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock in a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
Mark Briscoe, we return. Oh, we just talked about, okay, I did this right. Mark Briscoe got a post-win backstage segment at All Out, where he was conglomerating with Harley Cameron, Willow, Hologram, what I've called here confused, grumpy, hot dad, Roderick Strong. I didn't expect to write it, but when I looked at him, I say what I see, and I thought,
his glasses are really cute. And when he's got like that little bit of kind of grayish stubble. Yeah.
And he just had that dad look of like his family's taking him out like on an outing that's supposed to be fun. And his vibe is just like, I wish I were in my shed. Yeah. I'd rather be in my shed for sure.
He's like, Kyle keeps making me go conglomerating, and like I really have hobbies at home, but
it's like I told him I wanted to mow the lawn today, and I told him it was the first good day to do it in a month.
It's finally dried out. It was raining all week, and the grass has grown, and it was too wet to mow. But fine, we'll conglomerate.
Kyle's being like, we can hire a service to come mow the lawn, and then we can have more fun conglomerating. And Roddy's like, I love mowing the lawn.
That's his me time. That's where it's quiet.
You take everything from me. And then Kyle O'Reilly was there. He spent half the segment on a phone call making the weirdest. He's got to get a mommy's little ham kind of. Like, it's just like, what are you doing right now?
They got me with that one also because, like, in the previous week, they had said, like, he was on the phone with Adam Cole. And so I assumed he was on the phone with Adam Cole and then he was going to taunt Roddy with it. And so I was, like, I was eagerly anticipating that. And so then the actual reveal got me where I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and so Mark Briscoe was calling out Don Callis, challenging any 3 Don Callis family members to a match versus himself, Hologram, and another member of the Conglomeration. Willow was like, who is the other member? And Mark Briscoe said, hey, Kyle, is he ready to come back? And Kyle said, he says, whatever. And then they all did the little lazy thumbs up, and we all knew what that meant, and we were so scared and so excited. And they had another backstage segment on Dynamite. We got a few more references to the returning member, a few more. Well, it was kind of a big paragraph of references about juicing and squeezing and just being a sweet little baby boy. And thank you, Jane. Where is my mind, Alicia? Funny. I will say at the end of this segment, I guess Hologram's mysterious evil clone is still getting teased. And I did think, like, now at Conglomeration, none of you are thinking, like, we should look into that at this point. Like,
I know. It was funny. They were having such a good time doing their teasing that it was like, and Hologram's got a clone, whatever. I don't care.
And Hologram kind of has a very funny aura about this where he just keeps anxiously being like, oh, I'm really excited for OC to come back too, but can we talk about my thing for like a second? I'm being like terrorized. Can someone? No? Okay, I'll just keep figuring this out.
I feel like it's like at every group meeting for the past month, he's been like, and one item on the agenda that we haven't gotten to yet is like that thing where it's like my code keeps going like a really scary red, and then it says like evil clone is coming, and like I'm just wondering if you like think we should be concerned about that. And everyone is like, I can't wait to go to Dairy Queen.
He's like, at every meeting we kind of run out of time for this agenda item, and they're all like, we're out of time, we gotta go.
Parking lot. Poor Hologram. Well, I think they'll regret it when the clone comes to town. But okay, so later in the show, the Don Callis family comes out for this match. Don Callis is promising to unveil a new oil painting. And I like, what did you say in the middle of this? You just go, he is a wonderful painter.
I mean, you can't argue it though when you see those paintings.
I would never argue with it. And so some stagehands roll out a concealed painting, and they pull off the sheet or whatever, and the painting has been destroyed by beautiful little Orange Cassidy, who comes walking out through it, and Don Callis is being like, my painting, my beautiful painting.
He destroyed it.
Like, guards.
My one-of-a-kind painting.
Don
It's like,
Callis
okay, it wasn't a Renoir, so just calm down.
Don Callis was cracking me up because on commentary, like after all this, he just kept being like, "I fucking hate Orange Cassidy." Like
I know,
like he was just saying it in like this way that you're like, I know that like he's so annoying, but I'm not going to be able to eradicate him because he's like beneath my notice. But at the same time, I have to say it.
Yeah,
poor Don. He spent 6 days and 6 nights painting that painting. Orange Cassidy just destroyed it.
Well, it's easier to destroy than it is to create.
So true.
And
so true.
That's a hard thing to realize.
This was funny because while they were teasing OC, is like I was so psyched, but also I felt a little bit like, oh, like I know they need to promote it for like ratings or whatever, but I was almost a little like, I wish they'd just like surprise me with him, you know, like so I'd get that huge rush or whatever. But then the way they did it with the painting, I actually wasn't expecting, so they still got me. So I was like, all right, fair play, like good job.
I thought it was a fun middle ground, like, yeah, because I do, you know, it's like it is. I don't know what the right answer is all the time. I don't claim to know the right answer. And it's like, I can see, sometimes it is fun to have some little hints and to feel like excited. And I was excited going into Dynamite being like, he's coming back, my boy's coming back. But yeah, so I don't know what the right thing is. But I thought this struck a good balance. It was so scary and startling to realize as he came out, I was like, we have been best friend in OC list for like all of 2025 and we're still alive. Yeah. How did we make it this far?
It's crazy. Yeah, it was good that the Bucks came back around the same time that OC went out, I think, because, but being like, no Dustin, no Greg, no OC, like, past 6 months, like, good God.
It's actually been really hard, and we've been really brave for not talking about it, except every other week, usually, pretty much. But
we've remained in good spirits bravely on this podcast, you know?
I'm excited for Trish and Sarah this week because for however, like, what has it been, like 9 months since OC's been out? And, like, it's been,
actually, I did look it up. It was March that he went out. So
March,
more like 6. So I thought it was
felt like 12.
I missed it.
So many like people sure. accuse Trish and Sarah of equally Sarah. Being Hangman fans, and nobody is willing to face the facts that Hangman is not Sarah's special little guy. It's Orange Cassidy, but they are about to experience it.
Time to learn.
She already said to me, she was like, "Oh, our podcast this week is going to be about Orange Cassidy."
I'm sitting here like, can we gate crash? Should we crash their pod this week? I can't wait to hear that, Sarah. I never forget that we share a special little guy. Yeah, we're so strong. And then we had a great little match, which was Okada, Takeshita, and Hechicero on Don Callis' family side. Hologram, poor nervous Hologram, being like, I'm not sure you should put me in a match right now, boss. Like, anything could happen to me at any moment. They're just like, you'll be fine. You'll be totally fine. This is gonna be so fun. And Mark Briscoe and OC, and it was OC. It was OC doing OC match, and he rocks at it.
And he looked like he had been pining away for performing. He was doing little hammy body language, little hammy faces.
Yeah, he reminds me of Nick Jackson when Nick came back for the first time after that like very long thing, and he was a complete psycho.
Lunatic.
It's the same way where I'm just sort of like, he was sitting at home being like, put me in, coach, put me in. I need to be thrown around by a large man.
You really got the
when
impression.
He wrestled for like 100 weeks in a row, in every Dynamite. Yeah.
I know. You really felt like he was like being like, Tony, I really think I'm ready. And Tony kept being like, is your titty still broken? Because if it is, then you're not ready. Okay.
Like, I think a big man could just, throw me around by the other titty, probably.
If he just only grabbed the other titty and like everyone would abide by that. They only touch the other titty. Tony's like, listen, I want you in there as much as anybody does. Okay. But we're just going to have to play this one pretty safe. Great little match back. Do you want to talk? I think we did already touch on it, but it's like we have the three strategy. We have an OC return, we have the Eddie return, we have the JB return, and then we did have the Pac return too, which we haven't even gotten to. Any thoughts on the most effective return? Any general return thoughts?
I think the most effective is JB because he walked into kind of a storyline, and I'm not exactly sure what OC is gonna do. I guess
Conglomeration has never actually had a.
No.
Many will try
they're feuding with the DCF, but like it's it's not going to be.
I mean, who isn't?
That's
like saying they're wrestlers, I guess.
I don't say it meanly, but it's like many will lie to you and be like the Conglomeration have had lots of fun storylines. They've never had a storyline.
No.
They're a loose collection
Conglomeration.
They're Conglomeration.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but
there's no stable membership. The members don't really relate to one another, except Kyle O'Reilly loves Mark Briscoe. That's really all that's happening.
They're the married couple at the center of it.
Let me just really quick say, one way we could get to know the Conglomeration relationships. Let's just go to catering with them.
Yeah.
Let's just go to catering.
The Conglomeration is in catering.
They're in catering.
They love catering.
They're full time in catering.
No, I think there is value in having a faction that's just like, and this is the miscellaneous faction.
The island of misfit toys.
Yeah, and I think like it works for the most part, but I can't say that I know exactly what Orange Cassidy is going to be up to. So I think JB's had the strongest one, but I will say I just feel a lot more optimistic knowing all four of them are back.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm like really like those are my guys. Those are my guys.
It really was a lot of OG returns all at once. I think I hadn't even fully processed that until doing the schedule. Then it was like, oh wow, these are our guys. These are like these are like a lot of the guys who got, made us feel like, this is worth watching all at once. So it does feel really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Don Callis really is a fabulous painter. I cannot believe we were watching with our friend Nicole, and I missed this on commentary, and she reported it back, and I was like, I wish I could hear it.
I think it happened during
picture.
Oh, was
it
picture?
Yeah, Nicole watches on Fight, so she hears things that we don't hear, which I'm always,
But it's not, and that's not the only reason she hears things we don't hear, but Someone said, or Don Cal said, Takeshita was bred the right way here in the family. What do you mean?
And yet you don't want me to call him a daddy breeder?
Well,
So unfortunately, he's about 5 seconds away from calling himself a daddy breeder, I think.
yeah, a fabulous painter and a fabulous daddy breeder.
Credit where credit is due, you know.
What is a child if not a painting? Now, we have to move on, and I don't think we would say that. OC and Hologram took Hechicero out for the win in this match, and afterwards, Kyle Fletcher came out to say a few words. Hologram was he took kind of a protective position in front of the other men, which I thought was interesting, because I was like, you're really not to be trusted right now, in my opinion. Kyle said that his pay-per-view performance proves he belongs at the top. He will be ready someday very soon. He did feel bad the next morning. He felt defeated and crushed, but then he looked in the mirror and he remembered that he's hot shit. And he said everyone in the ring was a dork. But he wants to fight Hologram because Hologram has the longest undefeated streak of any man in AEW history. And then he said, impressive. Am I right? Is it 34-0 after tonight? Or should I say 34 and scared of Kyle Fletcher? And I had zoned out for a minute, so I thought he was just saying Hologram's age. And I was like, it's a catching illness. I get it, Kyle. You're 26. He's 34. We all have an age, Kyle. Just let it come up all the time. That was not what was happening. They're going to fight next week in a title versus streak match.
I think that's incredibly
it's so funny
because it's as if Hologram is putting something on the line that he doesn't have to. But it's like, if you lose any match, you lose your streak. That's inherent.
That's always on the line. Yeah.
That's unwritten in every match, is that it's you versus streak.
Every title match is a title versus streak match if the person's won more than one match previously.
Right. Yeah. If you have a streak, it's on the line. Anytime you have a streak, it's in danger.
That's what I'm saying.
In a row is surely not the longest in AEW history.
That's not for me to know, Ann.
Didn't OC defend his dumb belt 100 times or something? Did he lose
maybe
anytime
he
in the
had
middle?
non-title matches in there that he lost. No, I don't think he did. So I don't know. That's what we don't know.
Some fact knower can...
Don't invite it. Don't invite it.
No, I know.
Just let it happen if it's going to happen. Anything else you want to say about Conglomeration?
No, I'm just so glad that he's back.
Yeah.
Love you. Love you, OC. Love you, little baby. Okay. Mercedes fought Riho in a match that I actually really enjoyed, but I believe was not well positioned on the strangely organized card. I think it might have been the last.
It was the last one before things picked up, because I had a moment of despair in it, which was not really a comment on the match itself.
That's when Anne considered tendering her resignation. It was a good match. It was a good match, and it's unfortunate that I think the main outcome of it seems to have been that everyone has been in a really unbearable round of Joshi discourse online, which
can't even.
I will say is not very pleasant to observe.
No, I think we can all move on from it. Rio's a good wrestler.
Some of you are real weird.
It's just, it makes me so mad because I'm just like, nobody says this shit about OC. And OC is consistently
just Jim Cornette, maybe, but that's it.
Right, yeah. And Darby, too. I mean, there's little guys that just don't get it. And it's just I don't know why it is, but yeah.
It's crazy. I think it's really crazy.
It's crazy because it's some of the main players and some of just the regular IWC members who have waded into it, I just keep wanting to grab them by the collar of their shirt and say, is this how you want to spend your one wild and precious life? Is this it?
Yeah. And I think on a certain level, I mean, obviously I'm bringing it up now because it's just crazy to watch it happen. So we won't stay in it for too long. But sometimes you're seeing people respond and you're just like, you know what, you don't even have to talk about it. You can just say nothing because if you watch the match or it's if you watch Riho wrestle, Riho is really, really good at hitting hard and being very believable as I'm a tiny, super strong demon. I am a demonic presence in the ring, and my size does nothing to make that untrue. Yeah. And she's much better at it than many small men are. So it's shut up,
totally,
fuck off.
I know, and it's always so crazy when people are like, "This wasn't believable in wrestling." It's like all of this isn't believable. Like, what are we doing here? Sometimes I feel like lifelong wrestling fans get sort of brainwashed into thinking that like some things look like they make sense and other things don't. And it's like none of it looks like real fighting, you guys. Like, it's not.
It's like once in a blue moon, you're like, wow, that really looked real. Like, that's the rarest thing that can happen in wrestling. And it happens for 5 seconds. And then 5 seconds later, you're like, right, this is my fake sport I watch. And I love that. Yeah. I love that it's fake. It's fake. Yeah. It's fake. It's totally fake.
Embrace it. Yeah.
Anyway. Tony Khan had a very special announcement on Dynamite. And it was that the women's division is getting tag team belts. And he looked so wide-eyed. As always, but it's been a minute since we saw it, and every time we see it, it's just like, Tony, what is happening?
And when he finished his little speech, he made like and we're all done, folks, face that like pops me big, where I was just like, what is wrong with you?
I think we haven't seen him in so long that I had a real Stockholm reaction where I was like, look at his little curls and his glasses. He's so cute. What a little dweeb.
Like, we saw him kind of recently, and because for some reason we watched that entire after All In. Did we go to All In? Yeah.
Oh, his press conference. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but I guess that wasn't that recent, so. Wow, time gets away from you. Yeah, but I also was just like, oh, wow, Tony. And then he was like, and then we've got these brand new belts, and Renee, show him the belts. And we went to Renee by the ring, and Renee pulled a sheet off the belts, and they're belts. And I want to say this with all the love in my heart I've seen so many, over the years, I've seen so many wrestling fans have long discussions about, like, I think that this belt looks bad because of X, or, like, this belt is too small, or I wish we could have a different belt. Every belt just looks like a belt. They all look exactly the same. And it's honestly only comical to unveil a belt that looks like every other belt, like a belt. Mm-hmm. That's all I have to say about it. And it's not Renee's fault, and it's nobody's fault, really. But it's like, they're just belts.
Yeah, they all look tacky. I don't know how we can critique them or be like, this one's beautiful. Like, well, okay.
Linda, did you have some? Yeah.
The thing about these belts is that, like, I feel like people have been advocating for them for a while, and I just keep being like, but, like, the women, the problem that the women often have is that all of their feuds are about belts instead of being about anything else. So the last thing I think they need is another, like, belt to fight over. But fine. Okay, you want it? Fine. But here's what I will say. The thing about the tag division is that all tag partners are either brothers, lovers, or business partners. And I cannot be having... Huh?
I thought there was one more category. No, go on. Keep going.
I cannot be having the women's division turn into, like, the kind of tag partners that, like, Ricky and Big Bill have. Okay? I need if you're going to be a tag wrestler in the women's division, you need to become either a sister, a lover, or business partners.
You need to be a bitch, a lover, a child, a mother, a sinner, or a saint, and you cannot feel ashamed.
Yeah. I need some.
It's so true. And let's lean heavily on the sister and lover ones. And
I would say no business partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. It's like, I'm excited to watch more women's tag wrestling if they give the women the time to do it. And I don't want this to be a trios belt situation where it's stupid garbage that no one invests in. So,
yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Like, we need to create some tag team marriages and, really, like, if we're going to do this, then it needs to matter.
The queer ultimatum. It's time for the queer ultimatum. Or it's time for Are You the One? It's time for, we've got to get pairing up. Time to pair up, girls.
Yes. Time to pair up.
Everyone find your psychologist assigned perfect match. And you have to go around thinking, is this the one that the psychologist assigned me? Yeah.
Loving to think about somebody fighting a match with someone they're absolutely positive is going to be their perfect match. Yeah. And then at the end of it, Bryce or Tony Schiavone grabs the mic and is like, you're not it. And they're like, no.
We have no new, what did they call them? The spotlights?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
no new beams.
No new beams.
Yeah. We've got 2 beams out of 10 who are still looking for a lot more beams.
I love, like, we've pitched this, we're so enthusiastic, and Tony is like, in this scenario, it kind of seems like they're not even allowed to start tag team fighting for, like, 10 to 12 weeks, and we're like, and it'll be worth it. Yeah. Because we are going
be
get
spending
10 out of 10 beams.
Yeah,
We'll tell you, Tony, they're going to be in catering quite a bit trying to figure out their perfect matches.
But Tony, at the end of this, you will have a rock fucking solid tag team division.
Yeah, you will not believe the quality of the tag team matches you're going to get when they're perfectly matched.
Tony's like, okay, I guess I'm kind of privileging a little more, like having them now. And it's like, well, that's the problem with all these big corporations.
You're
they
rushing
want it fast.
it.
They don't want it right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Enjoy your slop, Tony.
You could have it fast or you could have it right.
Tony's like, I asked ChatGPT and he gave me some really good pairings. I asked Claude and Claude gave me some really good pairings. Tony, you go to the chokey and you think about what you've done.
If you ask ChatGPT, like, tell me the top, like, the best possible women's tag AEW wrestlers, like, who would you team up? Do you think ChatGPT would give you, like, any kind of reasonable answer?
I think it would. I think it would give you something like, here are some of the top teams at AEW, and you'd be like, no, I want you to imagine a team, and then I think it would be like, some of the women's belt holders at AEW are so and so and so and so, and I can't even remember who our belt holders are. Mercedes and now Kris. So it's like they'd be like, Mercedes and Kris would make an amazing team. It's like, no, ChatGPT. I want two women who hate each other and think they would drive each other insane, but when they get in the ring together, there's a certain magic. They realize they can't they can't do it without each other. ChatGPT.
God, I would kill. We're gonna get to it, but I would kill for the Baxcaster and Anthony Bowens of the women's division.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Harley really could be set up to fill a Max Caster role.
She could be. She's a little less. She'd have to do something a little different, but she has in the past. Yeah. Actually, she's been much more purposefully annoying in the past with Anthony Bowens. I will say I've no real objection to the belts, and I want Are You the One? But I think if you have belts, you need more time. That's the biggest thing they need, is you have to have more matches. So are we going to do that? That's
right.
That's
now
the big question.
You have 3 belts and 1 match per week. Like, come on.
I mean, it's rough in there. It is rough. All right. How are we doing for time? Could be worse. Okay. CNC versus FTR opened All Out. Really weird match. Just very strange match. It had I didn't actually mind this part, had a long, very weird Canadian entrance backstage where they were interacting with people, wrestling figures you would know if you were Canadian. And I'm not Canadian.
I think a hockey player and a Trailer Park Boys guy. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, sure. Could be that. If 2 of them were the same man, right? Or no? No? 2 of them seemed like the same man, but he had put on a costume. Is that not right?
Yeah. The Trailer Park guys did show up twice.
Okay.
Once in a costume.
I don't really understand. I respect and I'm intrigued by Canadian culture, but I don't always understand it. And Cope kind of repledged his troth to Christian and said, he's my beautiful asshole. I love him. And then they fought FTR, and Christian had broken Dax's nose the week before, which is very funny. Normal fighting. At some point mid-match, Stokely... Now, the recap just said Stokely pulled the referee. Which
I think
just
he grabbed his foot. Yeah.
Oh, he literally. Okay, I was like, "What? Aside for a chat? Like, he's like trying to pick him.
Can I get you a chat?
Can I pull you
Go for a chat. Pull you for a chat.
I'm like, he had a crush on the referee. I get it. And while he pulled him, and then Beth Copeland, I believe known in WWE as Beth Phoenix, marched out and speared him, and then I think carried him away over her shoulder, which was fully the only thing I could think about was that one episode of Futurama where it's like there's like the large cave women who are just like carrying the men around like by their heels. And I liked that very much. I was like, that's what you should be doing with men.
Yeah,
carrying them,
especially Stokely. I know. I was very like, I didn't know that Copeland's wife was big and strong, and it kind of made me think better of Copeland the same way I think better of a man if he's married to a woman like 5 years older than him. You know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It gives you a little. You're like, okay, maybe I wasn't giving you quite enough credit. I won't give you that much more credit. Just a little bit, though. Yeah. Her hair was kind of funny. Did you feel like it was like frozen in like an anime style kind of?
Yeah.
There was something
It was
going
styled
on there.
weird. It was styled super weird.
So that happens in the middle of the match. More match. Cope spears Cash. for the win. Beth comes back to the ring to raise the hand of Adam and Christian. And I, of course, am thinking the whole time, like, it's so nice that you asked for permission to marry him. That's really sweet.
That's all I was thinking about, too. Also, Christian had been sidelined for, like, the last 10 minutes of the match, and Cope fought both the younger men by himself and then pinned Cash, which I was like, give me a break, but whatever.
It's a bit much. It's a bit much. And then there's a whole thing. Mother Wayne comes out, and she's got Nick Wayne in a wheelchair, and there's a whole attacking stuff is going on. Kip Sabian handcuffs Cope to the ring. FTR is pile driving Cage. Beth is trying to get the handcuffs off of Adam Copeland. This is a crazy recap. So she kissed him and, started wailing away. I thought it just said she kissed him and started wailing.
I mean, it's really frustrating when you can't get handcuffs open, so.
I just had a whole thing in the middle of this where I was just like, if I were a wrestler, I would simply learn to pick locks. And I would be ready if this happened because it comes up a lot.
Yeah, it would be the number one most useful skill any wrestler could develop is being able to pick handcuffs.
Yeah, and I would never be without my lockpicks.
No.
But anyway, he couldn't get. Then they snatched her right into a sickening spike pile driver. Whatever. And then Cope is like, let me out of these handcuffs, please. I've got to get to my woman. That's the whole thing. Anything to say about it?
I was happy in the moment where I was like, oh, look at that. Yeah. They actually did a man-on-woman violence. Good for them.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Commentary was very funny in this match as a whole because, like, Shivani said, there have to be butterflies for Cope and Christian, which was so funny to me. It's like, now that Shivani's met his husband, Nigel, he loves love. Yeah, and then Danielson at one point said, I can't help seeing Toronto as a central character in this match. Which is very, like, we got an English lit major out here.
I know, it was kind of like, Brian, you're not getting a grade on this, right? Brian also unfortunately said we probably don't talk enough about how great FDR is. I have an idea, Brian. Why don't you shut your hole?
All we do is talk about how great they are.
This does not contribute at all.
No.
Did not contribute at all.
No.
All right.
Not like the Toronto as a central character thing, which did contribute to Hole.
That contributed very much to Hole, yeah. Hole was full and happy after that. Then
not to excite some of our listeners, but I will say when I was watching this match, I was
down.
sort of
everyone sit down, just be ready for what
she's
going to say.
Don't get too excited.
Yeah. Don't get too excited.
When I was watching this match, I did have a moment where I was like, I think I understand what WWE shit means now.
I think sometimes for a definition you just have to see the thing and not get it explained to you.
I think what I'll say is we see it less often than the term comes up, but I agree. You can recognize a certain empty quality to what's happening. Yeah. So then on Dynamite, we had a brief backstage segment where Cope was racing backstage after this match. Renee's trying to get a word. He says, Renee, I love you, but I can't right now. I can't right now. You love her. Okay.
I know.
That was insane.
Wow, can we dive more into that? Wasn't expecting it.
And he goes into the locker room. Christian Cage is there. He says, I'm not sure I can do this anymore. Now my family has gotten involved. I just don't know. I think I've got to go away for a while and I might not come back. And Christian was like, I understand. I don't have a family anymore. Go take care of yours. And Cope goes to leave and then he pauses and he turns and he says, no, you do have a family. And then they kissed wet on the mouth. No, they didn't. They just shook hands. It was so disappointing. It's like, come on. At least hug, you freak. At least hug, you both big men. Hug.
God,
kiss.
Seriously. Cope hugged him in the ring after the match, too. So it's like, is that so much to ask? Little kiss on the forehead, little kiss on the cheek, little kiss on the
just put your tongue in his mouth.
Just
come on.
Yeah, just a little tongue.
No. But that's fine. Okay, so Cope is clearly going to be off TV. I got really confused because I got to stop just going on Twitter ever, really. But I was on Twitter, and then somebody was presenting it and so I guess probably Cope's gone, and he's probably Tony's probably released him to go to WWE to fight John Cena. And I was like, that seems like...
did a Cena move and got a Cena chant.
He did, yeah.
Stupid.
So I was like, that doesn't seem right. But I guess I don't really know why he would be going off TV. I am very confused about that. And then I read shocked to be informed by a Cage Side Seats report. But I read Cage Side Seats, and they were like, Percy Jackson season 3 is filming. And I was like, that makes a lot more sense. That makes a ton more sense, actually.
So,
has season 2 aired?
I didn't think we saw it, but it could have come out and we missed it.
We haven't seen it. That's certainly true, yeah.
I guess I didn't fact check this. Percy Jackson season 2 is set to premiere on December 10th, 2025.
Oh, so we have that to look forward to.
I think I'll live.
Something to get through the doldrums of December.
I have decided to live. Just kidding. What I'm living for, this is the one diversion.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen the trailer for 911 Nashville, go check it out.
Dude.
So bonkers.
The first half of that
watch
trailer is a different show than the second half of that trailer.
Ryan Murphy, I kind of thought you'd lost it a little bit after after you failed to say that you wanted to do more Dr. Odyssey. It was like, who are you? Do I even know you anymore? And then he said, it was just because I have to do 911 Nashville. And I'm going to put some stuff in this trailer that is going to make you so fucking confused.
For him to write a show where firefighters are looking at a stripper in a firefighter costume doing emergency, like, first aid on someone in an emergency, and then being like, that kid's got talent. Like, we should hire him as a real firefighter.
We should hire him.
Yeah.
Wait, do you know him? That's your brother.
Just normal
what do you
stuff.
Mean?
That's where he got the firefighting talent from.
He has the firefighting gene.
And that was the moment I cleared my schedule.
I know. Literally, I brought this into the group chat. I was like, I know we already worked out like when we're going to be watching some of these fall shows. We're going to have to go back to the drawing board because this one has to get in the mix.
Also, they were like going so hard on Nashville, which is like, okay, like country music is centered there, but they were treating it like, boy, we're going to the rural South, guys. It's like, okay, Nashville is a pretty big city in like mid-South.
Yeah, that did not add up, but you must admit, having the very first accident you see in the trailer be a bachelorette party on a pedal pub.
Oh, yeah, that checks out
right.
big time.
That's it. Okay, you did do a little homework. You did a little homework.
Yeah. Once I was in Nashville for like the weekend and like an ASPCA person was like canvassing on the street and I was talking to her and I was like, yeah, a lot of bachelor parties. She was like, yeah, one day I counted and I'd seen 63 of them by 2 p.m. And I was like, wow, okay, so it's worse than I thought.
Wow.
I don't know who I would be as a woman if that was the life I had to lead. Like, I don't think I could endure under those conditions. It's not for me. Anyway, watch 911 Nashville, and Percy Jackson's coming in December. Okay, so that's all. Blah 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 blah. Okay, then on Dynamite, FTR come out and they cut a very confused post-match promo where I just think all you can sum it up as is like, do you guys know? Are you on the same page? Have you talked since the like in kayfabe or in shoot? What do you want to communicate?
It was very like, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to do any of that. She flipped herself, basically. And, you know, like, we deserve those boos, though. Boy.
Cash was like, I apologize. I don't think that we've been really that. I think and that we've just tried to do what was right. And then Dax was like, I'm an evil man, and that's the one thing I do know.
Cash was like, I didn't mean to do it. I just got confused. And Dax was like, I meant to do it.
And I would have done worse if I could. And then Willow Nightingale came out. She interrupted, and she gave this speech that I got really confused about because she came out and she was like, women like Beth. And there was a long pause, and I was like, women like her. That's good to know, because that gives me something to... If women like her, then my heart is open, because I believe in women. And then she was actually saying, like, women like Beth made me want to be a wrestler. And I was like, oh. Well, I guess it still implied that women like her, but
And she said women like Beth like 100 times, always with the pause. So you'd be like, women do like Beth. Oh, women like Beth inspire. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I really could only... Women like Beth. I'm like, that's her motto. It's a good one.
That should be her tagline. Women like Beth.
Women like Beth.
I also like it's a foreign feeling to be annoyed at Willow, and I don't like it. But I did also like raise my eyebrows at that line where she was like, "And don't you like." Don't you still put your hands on a woman or something like that. And I was like, you are somebody who's participated in a lot of intergender matches. So what are you talking about?
It's more, I feel like it's more problematic in the world of wrestling to be like, don't you dare touch a woman. Like, no, everybody touch each other. Treat each other like equals. You should all be fucking each other up.
Should we change our tagline to Tunnel Talk? Everyone should touch each other.
Yeah, probably. That's pretty right. And all of our facts lovers will love that because the facts feelings things will go out the window. They're like, okay, as long as it's factual, as long as everybody is touching each other, then we can tell them all the facts we want. It's like, well, I don't know. Okay, so then Stoke pisses Willow off. Willow slaps Stoke. Jet Speed run out to back her up. I typed in our group chat, Jet Speed have a problem.
They're addicted to the feeling.
Yeah. Canine Rescue Rangers.
They're like, we heard someone was in trouble.
Little Timmy's down the well. It's like, guys, I don't think you have anything to do with this. Am I confident about that? No, I'm never confident about that. But like, what do you mean? Couldn't Willow, I thought you had all your conglomerate buddies.
Yeah, where are the conglomerates?
They don't save. They're like, Jet Speed are like, you guys gonna go out there? They were like, no, we were just gonna kind of leave it. Jet Speed are like, okay, we'll go. We will go.
And OC's like kicked his feet up on the table. He's like, great.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Checka. All right. Okay. Jesus Christ. I think we're kind of in the home stretch. All right. Kris beat Toni Storm, and she's the new world champion. This was a totally good match, but I have nothing to say about it. It was good.
I love the Zag. I was spoiled for a title change, but I didn't know who was going to win, and I felt like it really could have been any of them. And to set up, like, I had been confident going in that Toni would just retain, because that's what it seemed like.
I feel like it's crazy to be like, I thought this was going to happen because I have a podcast that I could have voiced that opinion at any time. But I didn't. I did it because I felt stupid because I was like, I'm not going to make predictions. But like all the like commentary kept being like, and Kris hasn't had a title. She hasn't had a shot at a title. And like all of like the stuff with Yuta, I just kept being like, guys, I think Kris is going to win. But I didn't say it. And that's another thing.
Do you think
we got to say the things we see?
We got to say what we see.
That's true. We're scientists. Yeah, it's a commitment.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've learned a little lesson about like to reap the rewards, you must first go out on the limb? You know,
I could have
no risk,
bragged.
no reward.
Right, I could have bragged if only I had been brave.
You have to accept the branch may break, but walk out anyway.
Yeah.
Everyone else in the IWC is saying confidently, predicting things that are totally incorrect, and they don't even seem to notice.
You will never see the Hurt Syndicate again.
That's right. Rich, have you apologized to her yet?
Yeah.
Because she's clearly brooding.
Personally?
Rich Latta, I will possibly forget, but never forgive.
I will forget, but if reminded, I will remember, and I will not forgive. Yeah. Well, we kind of trained ourselves out of guessing, out of ever saying that we think anything is going to happen. Like, if we think something's going to happen, usually what we'll say is, I know it won't happen, but what if?
Mm-hmm. What if?
Yeah.
But I'm very happy.
Yeah, I was very thrilled.
This feels like it fits in with like Jack, Eddie, and OC coming back.
It does.
Where I was like,
right.
you know,
Totally.
It's the year of the originals.
Kris has been doing stuff with the Death Riders. It like opens up stories for her and for Toni, and it's just really fun to have a really unexpected title change because then it's like, oh, you guys could do.
You
like,
can just get a title.
Yeah, and like anything could happen in any match, you know. So it's like. You know, you could go into a pay-per-view like, I'm confident that they'll just retain, and who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
We could have men's world champion Kyle Fletcher. You don't know.
You don't know.
It's not safe. He's only 26.
He's only 26.
He's only 26. I think it's like, you know, you can't run for president until you're over 35, right?
So true.
Like, it's like, I don't think you should be able to be a men's champion at 26. That doesn't seem safe.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so then on Dynamite, Kris had a backstage interview with Renee, where Renee was like, love that for you, love this championship for you. Just wondering really quickly, are you evil right now? Or like kind of what's going on with you in terms of your morality? And Kris said, she quoted Mox and enigmatically said, things move really fast when you make decisions. And I said, that doesn't mean anything. That's not anything. That's nothing.
Okay, I don't think that you should take your quotations from a man who speaks in riddles.
There's one thing that you can quote Mox on, and it's belts are the, what did he say?
Yeah,
belts are the
like sign of a weak mind or something.
The lowest, or the unit of measurement of a weak mind, or whatever. We'll look back. See, we can't even quote him on that. Oh, I did forget Kris carried Harley away from the ring after her win, and that was so sweet. And I said, really you learned that from your mommy. You learned that from your mama.
Yeah.
Okay. Kris was scheduled to main. Kris was scheduled to main event on Dynamite versus Mina Shirakawa. Oh, but let's set that aside for a second, okay? And remind ourselves of what went on with Mox at the pay-per-view, which is basically, just that he achieved completion probably upwards of 10 times while murdering and being murdered by Darby Allin in and around what I've called a pair of lovers' coffins. I think it was really what they needed. That's the first thing I'll say about the match. They really needed it.
It borderline wasn't for us. It was for them.
It was for them, yeah.
Yeah. This was a real match of the night for me, but it was because their energy was so, like, completely deranged and, like, just physically, like, I need this so bad. You know, it was like you felt real, like, just visceral emotions in a way that no one else really brought to the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Every second of it was like, I can't believe I'm getting to see this.
Yeah.
Like, this is a private ritual for you two, and yet I get to watch it. That's amazing.
Yeah, you let me into your bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, a little quote from the recap here. Mox then berated Allin on top of the casket and told him he loves him before putting a kiss on Moxley's. No, that's wrong. Putting kiss on forehead. On Moxley's? What happened
Mox,
here?
He kissed
Mox.
Darby's forehead.
Yeah. Before kissing Mox's forehead. What do you mean? Mox was on one. I love
He's really been going hard on,
I'll
like,
put you in a casket. I love you. I gotta get my tongue in you.
Yeah. I mean, he has. It's like, this is intimacy for Mox. It's because I feel like he was talking about loving Darby before the match too.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he said it in a promo. He said, I love you and you're a problem, and I will solve you.
Yeah. Totally normal things to say. It really is, like, I don't know, his whole thing about trying to bring the young guys to greatness because he loves them. Like, I feel like it's all, I don't know. There is something psychosexual going on here.
Well, there is, like, a little, like, vibe of, like, I'm tired of, like, people saying that, like, we can't do it because, like, you're on a lower level. Like, get up on my level so we can do it all we want, you know? Come join me on this level. I don't know. It was crazy. Bryan Danielson had promised not to intervene in the match, but he did bring
also said, Moxley told me he loved me, too. It's like, thank you, Bryan. I love to hear that. So.
In the moment, I was like, Bryan, it's not about you right now.
Our paws are on a different bed right now, Bryan.
Well, Bryan's vibe was, I mean, he was doing something amazing throughout all this, where it's like every second of, like, every time I see him, I just feel like I can see his brain going, like, it should be me in there. No. It should be me in that ring. I'm being so good, but it should be me in there.
I do think that was the moment that he came closest to being like, why the fuck did I retire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like Moxley always brought it out of him more than anyone else. Like, that's kind of his AEW husband. So I'm sure watching this was hard for him. He honestly did kind of a great job at all the story stuff here, which I feel crazy for saying, but it's like, I mean, we haven't even gotten into all his, I agree,
in that he participated. We've rarely seen it before, but he said, you're doing a little story, I will do it with you. I'll help out with that. No problem. And the story was that he brought a little prop along with him to commentary, and Darby, stumbled over to the commentary table, and Bryan kind of nudged a bag over to him like, I brought this for you. And Darby had a little face like, Bryan, you shouldn't have. But then he opened it up, and it was Christmas at the Toronto Arena, because what was in there? In the bag, another bag, a plastic bag, Darby's favorite kind. And you know what we do with plastic bags at this company. You put it over a man's head and you suffocate him to completion. And that's what happened with it. That's exactly what happened.
So beautiful, except Mox got out of it, and then after that, Brian was just sitting there, like, really sulking in a commentary where it was like, I can't believe my ex-boyfriend who tried to kill me by suffocation, I brought a bag to get someone else to suffocate him, and it was going to be the greatest moment of all of our lives, and then he just got out of it.
He's like, if I was in the ring, I would have taken care of it.
I would never have let him get out of that bag. But it's like Darby's vibe is like, that's the fun of it. It's like you'll be in the bag and then you get out of the bag and then you put him in the bag and then he gets out of the bag and then he puts you in the bag. It's all about bag play. It's like a beautiful back and forth and like no one dies forever. And Bryan Danielson's vibe is like, he could die forever and I could do it to him.
Yeah. Brian's like, if you tried harder, you could get him. And like Mox and Darby are kind of like, but you take each other to completion in the bag. That's
and then,
fun.
Then he puts the bag on you, and then you go to completion, and then he take it out, and then you get a fork, and then he goes to completion, and then he grabs the fork from you.
Back and forth forever. Oh, God. Okay, so then suffocation, and then in the middle of this match, towards the end, actually, we get Pac returns. He's fully
scared
clothed.
all of us.
I'm terrified. I haven't gotten over it yet. I think I'm. And Pac
short, dry, clothed, haircut.
It's not a commentary on your looks. Like you're a perfectly nice looking man, and I'm sure if I didn't know anything about you, I'd have no complaints. But to see you out of nowhere, your chest is covered, you're barely wet, and you have just a normal haircut like you could be walking in the business district. I was terrified. I had to hide under the bed. You're haunting my nightmares.
It was worse than when Normie Juice returned. I was like, why do you keep doing this to me?
Stop it.
Yeah.
It's like,
we got to be grateful that OC didn't do any sort of physical transformation while he was out.
Oh my God. What if he came back with like brown hair and like real like wrestling gear?
Hair.
I was never scared for a second because he knows how he looks good and he'll never change it. So I knew that he would stay the same, but some of you need to find God. And so then he manages to put Darby in the coffin and Mox kicks the lid closed. He gets the win. And then later we go to a backstage sketch where Mox is by Darby's dented coffin, eulogizing him and being like, we hardly knew him. And all his guys are in Marina are standing around him. And then he goes, you guys get out of here. I need a minute alone. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What was the meaning we were supposed to take away from that?
I don't know. Like, literally, the only takeaway is he's like, I need a minute alone so I can open this coffin, crawl in there, and kiss him on his dead mouth. I don't know. What do you mean? I need a minute alone. Anyway, the second he's alone, obviously Darby pops out of the coffin, and did he really have a body bag in there with him? Is that what happened?
I think so.
He has it on him at all times.
Like, just put him to sleep with it. Yeah, I mean, he couldn't be in a coffin without his body bag.
I'm imagining Darby now, like, it's like when when you're walking a dog and you have like a little roll of like, poop bags on the leash, and Darby's like, I always have a little roll of. I always have a little roll of body bags. Yeah, because you never know when you might need them.
You never know.
Mm-hmm. And he's so right for that because he puts Mox in the body bag and then he sets it on fire. And I think honestly, if you listen hard enough, I think you could probably hear Mox screaming like, "Oh yeah, just like that!" Like
he started flopping around in the bed. It was like, oh my God, these guys. Mox needed this so badly.
Oh yeah,
he's never been more alive.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we'll get to something I read in a minute, but anyway, okay, so that all happens. Jesus Christ. Okay.
There was a point in this match where either Taz or Excalibur was like, Darby is a sick man, and Danielson said, is he a sick man or does he just want to feel alive? It's like a little personally defensive there, Brian.
No, it's like, Brian, just take that to your own therapy sessions. It's not, there's no place for that. No, keep saying it on commentary. That's fun. Okay. So then on Dynamite, Kris and Mina main event. Kris wins. Fun match. Great to see Mina. Kris retains. Yuta had been in Chris's corner at the pay-per-view and had kind of like whispered some stuff to her, and she did the seatbelt again, and like it seemed like they're really, they're vibing. Something's going on there.
I will say I'm sick of people being like, Yuta taught Kris the seatbelt pin. No. First of all, Kris is the older sister. She taught Yuta.
She taught Yuta.
Second of all, that's Yuta's mother's pin.
Yeah.
Like, and it's both their mother's pin.
Dustin Chuck Taylor.
They learned it
sharing
from their
it
mom.
with her, but it's Chuck Taylor's seatbelt pin.
It's like, what is he whispering? Is like, remember what mom taught us.
And it
remember what mom taught us.
It adds a special like spice to this story to be like for Yuta to be like, remember that we are siblings. Remember who our mother is. Like that adds
our
something.
mother that my faction leader murdered. Like,
it adds something sexy. And so the idea that like commentary keeps flattening it to be like Yuta taught it to Kris. I'm like, grow up.
Yeah, say his name. Say his name.
Say his middle name. Say his full name. It's Charles Entertainment Taylor.
Do you think Entertainment is maybe it's Kyle's middle name too? Maybe it's like the top wrestler
Kyle
middle name.
Fletcher.
Kyle Entertainment Fletcher. That feels kind of right.
It does feel right.
It kind of does. Yeah.
The protostar Kyle Entertainment Fletcher. It's like that is a protostar. That's a guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
well completely onboarded. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll shoot him a DM and ask, Okay, blah, 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 what's happening here? Oh, yeah, say his full name. Okay. Oh, right, so Yuta had been there, and then Yuta comes out after Kris retains with Mina. Yuta and Harley both come out. The Death Riders surround the ring. Mox and Marina come out last. Yuta is clearly being like, you're one of us, you're joining us for sure. Instead, Kris clotheslines him, and then Marina's going for her. She kind of evades. She double flips Mox off, and she like jets off into the crowd with Harley.
Yeah.
This is so fun. Just Yuta's vibe of like, but I recruited you.
The fact
hugging
that
her.
He gave Kris a big hug, and Kris hugged him back. My favorite thing that people do is they play along for a little while before they reveal. And it's so funny to be like, now what were you thinking there? You were just like, oh, we'll hug. And then for dramatic effect, I'll rub your back a little before I beat you up. And Harley was doing good face acting because Harley was in the corner being like, no, not again. My safe space.
Kris was doing good face acting too, though, because she looked kind of genuinely conflicted as Yuta was hugging her. So that was fun. I feel like she's come a long way.
Yeah.
She has. She definitely has.
And then Mox also gets a Mommy Littles to him nomination for the fact that when Kris flipped him off, the look on his face was so inappropriately delighted, where he was just like
she's got Moxie.
She's got it. She's got it. Yeah.
It was so funny when I was doing the schedule. I go to I go to Cage Side Seats, and they had an article up that was like John Moxley humiliated, like, at the end of, like, this week's Dynamite. And they're, like, talking about, they're, like, because, he thought he was getting this new recruit, and he didn't. And I was just like, humiliated? He was horny as hell. He fucking loved it. You couldn't, every time the camera cut to him, his tongue was out of his mouth. And it was like, it doesn't go there, sir. Tongue goes in mouth. And he was like, not right now, it doesn't. Because I am thrilled that I'm being disrespected.
When I see a young person with pep and verve, I love it.
I love it. I don't want them to respect me. I want them to come at me.
Yeah.
Just fucking great. And then anyway, so then while they're all standing around, Yuta has this vibe of just like, I know that my life is about to be hell on earth. Like, I know they're going to put me in the pit. I know they're putting me in the pit tonight.
Yeah.
And they won't give me a blanket. It's going to be so cold in there. And while they're all standing around, Darby enters. He has brought a flamethrower. And he's menacing them with the flamethrower. And he's kind of backing them into the crowd. And then he hops on the mic and he says, John, when are you going to realize I'm never going to quit? Stupid boy. You're so dumb. Of course you're not going to quit. You don't have the fear gene. You're like that guy, like, free solo. Yeah.
Do you ever like to think about like what kind of matches Darby and Mox together have pitched to Tony, where they're just like, okay, Tony, at this next pay-per-view, Mox and I want to wrestle at the top of a skyscraper and toss each other off of it. And Tony's like,
absolutely.
No.
I truly believe that Tony, everything they say, he's just like, wow, that sounds so amazing. And in his head, he's just being like, how do I get them? How do I talk them down from this? I'm just like, I love that suggestion so much, but I'm just wondering if we'd even be able to get the permits for that.
Like, guys, what if I bargain you down to a cage match? You can be on top of the cage.
I mean, it's like they're coming into his office and being like, okay, here's the idea. Like, we both bring knives, and at the same time, we stab each other in the spleen. And Tony's like, fake knives? And they're like, real knives.
Fake spleen? No, real spleen. You don't need your spleen.
Tony's like, Tony has a little headache right now, so we might have to resume this ideation session tomorrow. So John Moxley, Wrestle Dream, I Quit match. Mox's tongue is so out of his head, it could basically wrap around the earth.
Yeah.
Like he's like
it was a cartoon. Yeah, it was a cartoon. Awooga.
He was so aroused that the whole Death Riders start backing away from the thing, and he just fully trips over the stairs.
Oh my god! When they were trying
funny.
to like guide him away, where they were just like, "Okay, you're dangerously activated. We need to go." And Mox has his eyes locked so hard on Darby that he's not watching anything, and he just goes ass over tea kettle over the stairs. And I was like, "This is comedy. This is a perfect TV show."
It was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. He's panting like a dog. He's like,
you might as well be in a rom-com falling over things.
I know it is like Darby came out and like it's like he had the makeover montage, came out in the Va-Va-Voom dress, and Mox is just like, I didn't even know you could look that good. I already liked you quite a bit.
Flamethrower? Oh, going over.
Flamethrower, I quit match. And it's like my vibe as a viewer, I'll say, is like never quit. You guys could fight at every paper. If I'm gonna be hammered with these damn pay-per-views every other week, I'm like, at least you already scheduled something that like I'm horny at the edge of my seat to see. Like I can't fucking wait for this. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, seriously.
Jesus God. Anyway, so Kris is not in the Death Riders. I hope it's going to be an ongoing. I mean, clearly she's going to have some feud with like Marina or something, but like, hopefully it's like an ongoing thing. Because honestly, I'm kind of like, I don't know, Kris, maybe join him. I don't know, maybe join him. Like,
I know, like it was fun, and I didn't expect the turn, but it's like, oh yeah, Kris and the Death Riders, that could be a lot. of fun.
It would. I think she probably could double fake like in maybe a couple months. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see her like fighting Marina and then getting recruited after all.
Yeah.
It would be maybe really fun. Like I'd love it if it was a double fake and she like kind of kicked Yuta out. Like if it was like Yuta has shamed himself by not being in control of the situation.
And then at catering, it's like, there's no more room at the table. Yuta,
there's no more room at the table.
Else.
She gets him booted because I wouldn't mind seeing Yuta like just kind of a little lost out in the world. Like it's like let's find you a new place to be where you're gonna have to learn that like maybe you can't solve all your problems by getting put in the pit. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think the only other thing we really need to talk about is just really quickly, Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Jerry Lynn had a backstage segment at All Out where Jerry Lynn was basically like, I think you guys kind of have to be together. You're kind of soulmates. You're kind of meant to be together. And Anthony Bowens had a full-on Regina George screaming breakdown where he was just like, no, I can't keep doing this. I don't want to be with him.
It is so perfect. It's like the same thing about what I was saying about MJF. That's like sometimes like bad, like you can just celebrate the fact that someone's turning a past of bad TV into good TV. And that's what's happening where it's like, in order for the storyline to work, Anthony Bowens had to have been incredibly boring on TV for multiple weeks, which was boring to experience, but now is paying off in a huge way where you're just sort of like, he was trying so hard to get his little 5-tool things over, and he just kept failing and failing, and now someone's hard truthing him. Imagine like you have all these dreams for your solo career, and then someone says to you, and someone grabs you and says, your marriage to Max Caster is the best it's ever going to get for you. Whoa, that's hard.
Like, and they're also just being like, I don't think you appreciate, like, it's a great marriage. And he's like, it's hell to be in. And they're just like, it's heaven for everyone else. Everyone else loves your marriage. And he's like, I hate my marriage. And it's like, you can't get a divorce.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you've been outvoted by everyone in the world. You cannot get a divorce. I would be shocked. I don't think any of this was the plan.
No.
I do think that they have just followed the strongest scent basically, which is good for them to do, and it means that the boring part has paid off because watching Anthony Bowens be so fucking furious that like I want to see him throw a vase is so satisfying, and he is great at it. It's like it genuinely is a compliment to him too. I'm like, Anthony, you are playing it perfectly. And it's so much better than the 5-tool player.
Yeah.
It's way better.
Yeah.
It's way better.
I'm
And
so
it's
sorry.
gonna be so funny if now he's like having to give backstage promos with Max Caster as his tag partner, where he's just like so sullen about it, you know, like that'd be so funny.
Yeah.
And Max Caster is just being like, it's amazing to be back together.
Well, Max Caster also had a very funny reaction when Jerry Lynn was like, you guys should get back together. And Max Caster was like, I kind of have a pretty good thing going. And
It's true.
It was like a
It's
moment
true.
where I was like, you're not wrong. You don't
You're not
need
wrong.
Anthony Bowens the way that
No,
Anthony Bowens
it's
needs
true.
you.
Which is so humiliating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But doesn't it feel like if Anthony Bowens realizes, like, is finally comes to terms with it and is like, I guess I have no choice. I guess I have to be with him. I guess he cost him a belt or something at an indie thing. I didn't look up the details and I don't know that. So that's just disregard that for now. But it's like, if he's like, I guess I have no choice. I guess I have to be with him. I guess this is the best I can do. And he goes to Max Caster. Max Caster is like, I kind of have a good situation, so I don't really need that. And then Max Caster just kind of turns and he's like, I don't know, beg. I guess. I don't know.
That would
It's maybe
I mean, if you really
That
ask
would
me,
be so good. And
Oh
I
my
think Max
God.
Caster could deliver it perfectly.
Oh, he could.
Yeah.
Oh, he certainly could. And just be like, I don't know, prove to me that it's a good idea. And to have to watch Bowens go through the hoops of like, he doesn't even want it, but he's like, this is all I have. And just like being like, so now I've got to fucking seduce him.
Yeah.
So now I have to beg and grovel and seduce him. And Max is like, I'm loving this more every second. Actually, I'm starting to get really into this.
Yeah, this rules.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything you want to talk about that you didn't get to talk about?
I don't think
Better
so.
not be.
I know that I feel like we've run a million miles. On that note, I've been Allie.
I've been in.
And I've been Leah.
It's Tunnel Talk. Our theme is by Chris Corkin. You can find us on Twitter, Twitch, Tumblr, and Blue Sky at Tunnel Talk Pod. Via email, tunneltalkpod@gmail.com. We have a souvenir stand. You can find it at chop-tees.com. You can find us on our feed, on the Social Suplex Network feed, where you can check out all the other great podcasts on the network. And you can find us on the Social Suplex Network Discord. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Stay frosty. And as always, please come back next week.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock and a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.